Welcome to my video series of solo exercises for social dancers, both leaders and followers. My name is Melina and I've been teaching Tango since 2001. This video is about crosses, and we're going to start with an exercise that comes from spiral dynamics, and we're going to start with an exercise for the mobilization of our upper spine, then for the arms, and then for the leg. I'm going to put on music so that it's not quite as boring, and you just watch me and go along. So we're starting to form with our nose small lying eights, like the eternity symbol. This is supposed to be a small movement, don't do it too big. You can of course also do it seated. You draw with your nose an eternity symbol. And we're going to do the exercise with the left arm. I go forward to the inside, outside, backward, inside, outside. Start the movement in a moderate size. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And even bigger. And very big. Not so much to the back, of course. I'm going to start getting smaller again. Maybe close your eyes. Start getting smaller and smaller. Even smaller. Until you maybe cannot see the movement from the outside anymore. But you might still feel it on the inside. Just let your arm hang in there. A couple of seconds. And with the right arm. To the outside. Backward. To the inside. Outside. Inside. Bigger. Even bigger. Start getting smaller. Even smaller. Until you maybe cannot see the movement anymore. You will just feel it. We're going to do the movement with our legs, rotating to the outside and knee inside, outside, inside. This is a super important mobilization of the leg in the hip that we are now going to use in a couple of seconds. If you want to do it longer, I'm just going to show it to the other side. Rotating to the outwards, inward. The knee is now describing a eternity symbol. The hip stays relatively calm. Okay, we're now going to examine crosses that are circular. In tango, often also linear crosses are used. Very often followers dance linear crosses in the very usual context, but we prefer to make these crosses circular using a pivot to actually lead ourselves into the cross. And this is a movement that leaders use all the time as well. For example, when initiating turns and leading the follower around them, accompanying that with a front cross. This is the same movement that a follower would have in her front cross. The technique is simple. I'm standing on my right leg. My left leg is straight. It is attached to the floor. It has grown little roots in the floor. And when I now rotate with my upper body to the left to initiate a pivot, my leg will stay attached to the floor, but it will turn in the hip, and by the rotation, the leg is pulled towards the axis and it is closed. We can, of course, do a pivot on the right leg to the left, as we have done right now. This will create a front cross. We can rotate on the right leg to the right. This will create a back cross. We can rotate on our left leg to the right. This creates a front cross. And we can rotate on our left leg to the left. This creates a back cross. These crosses are not the result of a free leg pulling itself towards the axis, but being pulled there by the rotation, by the pivot. I would ask you to try that now out. I'm going to do it a couple of times myself. All the pivots again, on the right leg to the left, on the right leg to the right for a back cross, on my left leg to the right for a front cross, on my left leg to the left for a back cross. Once more, on the right, front cross, and back cross. And on the right, a front cross and a back cross. I would ask you to do that a couple of times if you want to, with music. And then I'd ask you to put this cross into a context that you know. For the followers, this could be the classical cross situation. Maybe in this basic step. So you might have gone a step backward with your left leg. Then you would need a preparative pivot to change the orientation of your hip. You push yourself in a side step, and we are now again in this situation where when I rotate to the left, my left leg is pulled to the axis. What I then need is only a shift of weight to actually terminate the cross. Do this on both sides. For the leaders again, now imagine yourself communicating ochos, and from the ochos then initiating a turn by doing a front cross for yourself. Do this on both sides. Also here, to get this front cross, and for your partner, this would have been a back ocho. Please apply this cross method in the movements you know and check whether it makes sense there. Thank you. See you next time.